What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed, born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And for today's video I have several news that might be very important for the community. First of all, I will show you that our headliners are getting angry on Congress. Let's put it this way, on the lack of actions from Congress, and I will show you in details what I'm talking about. On top of that, I will show you some actions that potentially showing us that we have some sort of activity in order to fight the illegal actions on the market. On top of that, I will show you the upcoming events and what should we expect, and what is more importantly, what legal actions we have to anticipate in upcoming weeks. So, and before we dive deep into all of this, please hit the like button for YouTube algorithm. It is very important to see this support from you, from my viewers, and that is why, guys, just hit the like button. So, let's start with this news. Kristen Shaughnessy wrote this tweet just several hours ago, and she says that she basically added the link to the article, which is titled "Ex-Goldman Sachs banker who tried to talk his way out of arrest is convinced of insider trading." And this article, as you could see, was published on New York Post just a couple of days ago. And it shows that something is happening. And I have to admit that on the one hand, it is definitely a good news. But on the other hand, let me show you this. Let me quote you just one paragraph. Mohammed Zina, 35 years old, was convinced of insider trading and fraud by a jury in London after he used information obtained through his job to buy stocks of companies that netted him more than $175,000 in ill-gotten gains. So, this number is a ridiculous number, and it is just a drop in an ocean. And we know that a lot of major hedge funds are gaining huge money on a daily basis from their illegal activity, from naked shorting and from other actions that are not permitted by authorities. And guys, I have to say that a lot of our headliners are getting angry because of the lack of actions from Congress. Let me show you this tweet that was made by Mark Basile, and he made it in response to the tweet that was written by Representative James Comer, and he wrote it on February 15th. He said, "Today I issued subpoenas to major credit card financial institutions. The subpoenas issued include records for the Hunter Biden, James Biden, and Sarah Biden, Biden associates Eric Schwerin, Gongwen Dong, and Marion Yan, and several of the Biden's companies." And Mark Basile wrote, "Representative James Comer and Representative Ralph Norman, while you guys are at it, can you subpoena the 106 brokers in the MMTLP fiasco to see if the Bidens held MMTLP and get the trading data?" And I have to admit that yes, we have this mind-boggling letter that was prepared by Ralph Norman's office, and that was signed by more than 74 Congress members. And this letter has 16 very important questions, but none of them were answered by FINRA and by SEC especially, because FINRA prepared their answer, but it is nothing else but a hit piece answer that doesn't answer to any questions in details. And the SEC didn't answer at all. Basically, they made this letter, they made this answer, but a bit later than the deadline. And they just threw FINRA under the bus, and they said that FINRA is responsible for all the actions that are surrounding MMTLP saga. But definitely, it is not the answer that we want to see, and that is why we have to wait for subpoena. On top of that, let me show you that Richard Hoffman also wrote this tweet in regards to the Congress actions. "My strong impression is that all of Congress, and that means all, to the extent they are trying to resolve this, still do not want to expose the bigger problem, and that is what is delaying the issuance of a subpoena. And guys, I will show you what does he mean in my opinion, but let me show you further information, and I think it is a very important one. So, Junk Savvy hosted this space call, and by the way, it is a 5.5 hours long audio, but definitely this is a hidden gem, and I will show you some details in regards to this matter. So this is just a tiny part of this space call, and it is a summary that was made by Dennis Neal, and the summary in regards to the Johnny Tabacco's information. Let me play it for you.
Is incredible. And John, I'm going to follow up and ask you to give me some of that data. I can put in my next column. I'm writing on this. 60 million shares up to a billion for a company that really had only 165 million shares outstanding. And the thought that none of that's naked, none of that's counterfeit shares is simply implausible. But moreover, Tobacco has a pivot.
So, as you can see, Dennis Neal said that the number of shares is really mind-boggling, and he knows this information from Johnny Tabacco. And let me explain you how Johnny Tabacco get this data. He basically collected this data for quite a long period of time. He collected the data of the positions on the market, not from MMTLP company alone, but for other companies. And he has this data, and he is an expert in this field. That is why he basically can explain in details how the wrongdoers behave in order to push the stock price down, and what he can do in order to help companies to mitigate this problem. And that is why, guys, Johnny Tabacco was hired in order to potentially implement the blockchain sales process into this story, in order to solve this problem. So let me show you that again. I want to show you the tweet of Richard Hoffman. He says that the problem is much bigger than you might even imagine. And the bigger problem is this one. We are on a Butcher of the Wall Street Marcel Kalinovich Twitter account, and this tweet was reposted by John Burda. And let me quote you just a couple of paragraphs of this tweet. We have verifiable evidence of AMC shares being sold more than 3x beyond the actual float. The SEC still hasn't concluded an investigation, and the Justice Department hasn't put anyone in prison for obvious criminal market manipulation and illegal naked short selling. And he added, from 515 million shares pre-split, over 1.55 billion existed between FTX, Bittrex and retail investors alone. And he added his own tweet with the exact number and with the pure explanation how did it happen. And guys, this is the major problem not only for MMTLP community, but for the entire US stock market. And that is why we have to fight this problem till the very end, and we have to solve it in order to receive fair market for all of us. And how we can do it? Definitely from the litigations and from the subpoena. And let me show you what questions we have to know in order to make this clearer. Sensei wrote this tweet on February 14th, and he said, okay, last of the info needed. 1. The names of the market makers who got MMTLP trading. 2. Congress to subpoena FINRA and the trading data. 3. Supportive evidence that MMAT did not pay the FINRA amendment fee of $1,000 to $5,000. And this is the fee for the second corporate action that was issued by FINRA. And MMAT didn't even have any chances to correct this corporate action. And because of this second corporate action, and because of the gibberish with the dates inside two of these corporate actions, FINRA implemented U3 halt, and they did it through the breaching their own 6490 rule. So, number 4. Information on offshore trading of TRCH and MMAT. And this is also very important because we know that in order to hide the information in regards to naked shorts, all of the wrongdoers transferred their position from the US stock market to the foreign markets. And number 5, George Palikars to talk. So, I agree with all of these questions, and let me quote you further. JP wrote, add how many shares have so far been transferred to ST, and Sensei wrote this, negative, McCabe will keep that a secret till time is right. We already know there was an overage at TradeStation and foreign brokers requesting shares. All we need for now. And yes, it is a pure evidence that something is wrong with the share numbers of MMTLP, because TradeStation admitted that they have a lack of shares, and that is why they cannot transfer any shares to ST anymore. On top of that, we know from the recent PR statement from NextBridge Hydrocarbons that some of foreign brokers requesting shares in order to cover their short position. And definitely this is another evidence that FINRA lied and SEC covered them. So, and what should we expect next? Guys, for now we have several lawsuits on the table, and we have one arbitration. First of all, we have the recent update in regards to the steamroller case. It is the lawsuit against OTC markets in order to find out who are the in order to find out the names of wrongdoers who was involved in the process of naked shorting. And yesterday I showed you this tweet, and we have quite a ridiculous update. Ridiculous because in this case they are adding the FINRA letter in response to Ralph Norman's letter from January 31st, 2024. And we know that this letter, and I showed you it just a couple of minutes ago, this letter is nothing else but the curtain that hides a lot of illegal activity from FINRA. And that is why this case, in my opinion, is on the right path to resolve in our favor. So, and on top of that, we have to wait for the resolution of Richard Hoffman's arbitration. And we know that the deadline will be at the very beginning of June. And there, potentially, we also might have some information in regards to the Fidelity's position in this case. And that is why, guys, for now we have to wait. We have to patiently wait in order to see more results in this case. So, I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye!
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad. Doing no cap.